Lovely. So, Erev Tov, is wonderful to see everybody. We are having our second session of Selichot this year. As you know, we do it every night at 8 o'clock, with the exception of the Ashkenazi Selichot that is going to be Saturday night on August 28. We'll talk about that a little later when things happen. And I also want to say that that there is also, we're going to have a review of many of the sessions of Slichot honoring the Hebrew letters. We're going to be doing that in the afternoon of Yom Kippur at 4 o'clock, something from 4:15 to 5:15. I know that some of you will be busy and won't be able to come. I just put on the chat the first of the videos recorded. That it means the one from last night. So if you are interested in viewing it or reviewing what we did last night, therefore that would be perfectly fine. I want to begin sharing the screen, and we're gonna go just simply to review what we have sung last night of this piyut, Kol Adon Aselichot, the Master of Forgiveness. And remember, there has a pizmon, a refrain, Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. We have made a lot of mistakes, and please forgive us. That is the refrain. And the reason why we have chosen is because each one of the qualities that about God are, as you see here, created in an acronym with all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. We're going to only do for this week Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet. And Aleph is tonight, Bet tomorrow night, Gimel, and Dalet is on Sunday. So so let me see if we remember how that goes. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. That's our refrain. I'll just sing a little bit the first four qualities of God. Adon aselichot, bochen lebavot, gole amukot, dover tzedakot. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. So that is our introduction for this evening of this Slichot series. I'm so excited. One more time, so many of you have chosen to participate, and among them a dear friend of mine. I'm talking about Cantor Janet Roth. Since her graduation from the Jewish Theological Seminary in 1991, she has served only in one congregation, Congregation Or Shalom, in the Summit Jewish Community Center in Summit, New Jersey. She devotes her entire being to her congregation. However, she has a few beloved projects outside the shul, a devoted teacher of the poetry and music of the Jewish people. I can attest to that. She has taught amazing, serious. Janet has also served on the teaching staff of the North American Jewish Choral Festival since 2002, where she conducts workshops on Israeli music, Jewish folk music, and liturgical music. Janet's choral arrangements are sung by Jewish community choirs around the country. She leads educational programs for the Lifelong Learning Project of the Jewish Chaplaincy Committee of Metro West Federation. She's also a certified rhythm and ruach facilitator, and you can often find her, guitar in hand, on her rainbow blanket surrounded by small children. So, Cantor Roth, Janet received her undergraduate degree in Near Eastern Languages and Literatures from Indiana University, and a Master of Arts in Music from North Texas State University, and a degree in Sacred Music with a diploma Chazan from the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. She is also, among her many other activities, she is a past president of the New Jersey region of the Cantors Assembly. And with that introduction, I have the immense honor and happiness that you need to know that Janet conducts a minyan every day at 8 o'clock. Not, of course, on Shabbat, but during the week. And she has actually probably had to leave somebody in charge to be able to be with us. And this is the reason why she's not able to be with us as many times as she wishes. But we love that you are here. So, Janet, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ramon.
You're welcome.
So let's start with a nigun, and I know you're on mute, but I hope you'll sing along. You're going to hear that melody a little bit later. And I have the honor of having the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph, the third letter in the Torah, but the first letter in the alphabet. And you know, for an aliyah, often, not always, but often the third aliyah has a little more kavod, a little more elevation to it, a little more honor. And but nonetheless, it's the first letter in the alphabet, and it's so interesting because it has, at least in my pronunciation, I don't know what it was thousands of years ago, or perhaps in another culture, it has no sound. It's a very humble letter. It's a modest letter. It carries the sound of the vowel that it comes with. So I like that about the letter Aleph. And the letter Aleph, it seems to me, I've been practicing this. It kind of, well, you can't see my legs, but it kind of looks like this. So Ramon, if you show us, I printed up an Aleph, and if Ramon zooms in a little, you're going to see that it looks like a person. The Aleph looks like a person. It has two arms, right, and two legs. Or this could be the I don't know. Can you see my cursor? Can you blow it up a little, Ramon?
Yes.
So maybe that top piece, maybe that's one arm, and maybe this is across the way. Maybe that's the two arms. Maybe that's leg. But clearly, you're looking at a person here with the Aleph. I hope you agree with me. And I thought maybe, you know, I used to do a little yoga. Maybe this was a yoga pose. And here's our little person, the Aleph. So the Aleph, and we can take our Aleph down. The Aleph is like, reminds me of the word Adam, person, or man. I'm going to sing it again for you. And Ramon, let's put up Adam Yesodo Me'afar. So the music is so short. I want to have hopefully two opportunities to sing it for you. I'm going to sing it, and then we'll talk about it, and then have something else. So this is a passage from the Musaf for the High Holidays. It's right before the Kedusha, and you can see it says. Actually, I'll sing and I'll let Ramon scroll. Adam, Adam Yisrael Me'afar. Adam, Yisrael Le'afar. Nafsho yavi lachmo, mashul kacheres anishbar. Adam, כחציר יבש וחציר מובל. אל עובר וחנן קלה. אדם, וכרוח נושבת, וכבק פורח, וכחלום יף. So, and then if you stick around in my show, you hear it, but that's for another session. So if we go back up to the top of the passage, we're talking about Adam, our first person. The Aleph is in itself a person, and then we have Adam, who's our first person, who comes from the Adamah. He comes from the earth, right, the dust of the earth. And we, as you see in the text, we are dust, like Adam, the first person on earth, was created from dust, and suddenly he woke up. I can't imagine what that was like. He woke to life, and he was so fragile. We're fragile as a clay pot. We're like the grass that withers and the flower that fades, and the shadow that passes, and the clouds that drift. It's like we're temporary, we're ephemeral, we're like a dream. But you, God, you are living and eternal. We are, our time is short, but you are living and eternal. And besides the fact that this passage starts with an Aleph, which is my letter, and it starts with the word Adam, what really struck me about this passage is that it comes in the liturgy right before the Kedusha, the bracha of holiness. So people, our personness, our personhoodness, is the introduction to the bracha of holiness, which I thought was so interesting and I didn't think it was random. No, the rabbis were never random. We're describing ourselves, and then we're going for the Kedusha, where we reach out to God. We reach out to God, and we want to connect to the divine. We want to connect through holiness. Our Aleph being our Adamness, right? We are so we're seeking for God, and we're searching, and right after we talk about Adam, then we say, okay, now I want to be one with you, God. I want to be connected. I want to be connected in divinity. So maybe I'll sing a little bit one more time. Ramon, do I get to go over a few minutes because I lost a few minutes at the beginning of the introduction? Is that okay? Adam Yesodo Me'afar. Adam Yesodo Le'afar. Nafsho yavi lachmo, mashul kacheres anishbar. Adam, כחציר יבש וחצית נובל. אל עובר וחנן קלה. וכרוח נושבת, וכרק פורח, והחלום יעוף, ואתה הוא מלך חי וקיים. So we could take down Adam Yesodoi Me'afar. So that melody, I wrote that a long time ago. It just came to me. You know, it's not going to make the top 10, but in my congregation, it's very beloved. And when I started to sing this, now one of my older daughters said to me, "Oh, that's my favorite melody." And somehow they all know to go, "Oh, they just know that it's been a lot of years, so they know." So holiness. Okay, where are we going to find holiness? We all have that breath of God in us, that neshama, right? That God breathed the breath into us. It says in right there in Bereshit in the 2nd chapter. And that neshama, we all have God within us. So where will we find this holiness that we're searching for? When we truly find God in each other, when we can see the divine in each other, when we have asked for forgiveness from one another. Because now we're in Sichot, right? When we have connected enough to say, in my heart, I ask you for forgiveness. And when you, my friend, forgive me, then maybe you, God, will forgive me. And then I will forgive myself. And I can start fresh and new and brush off that dust and the broken shards of pottery and break loose, know myself. I could be the first one to open the door to welcome in the orphan and the widow and the disenfranchised and the ones so close to me and yet separated by anger. I welcome you in, my friend, Re'i, Dodi, Yedid Nefesh, in you, my friend. In you, I find the divine.
From Mark J.
Whoops. Can everybody mute?
Mark J.
Whoops. So I want to go to another song about Adam, and that is, I'm going to give you a little tune for it. Here's the tune. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. So that's a little nigun from the song Adam B'toch Atzmo by Shalom Hanoch. Shalom Hanoch, he says, a person is alone within himself, shut within himself. And then he ends by saying the salvation that we have is the connection that's between one another. So we're looking at our poem here. You can read it. It's such a beautiful poem. He wrote it a long time ago. And he says, the verse, he talks about how we're alone within ourselves, right? And then he says, but you, he says, it's a good thing that you came over. Without you, the house is empty and it's so cold at night, but I guard over you as much as possible. Without you, my friend, he's saying, I'm alone within myself, and yet when I connect with you, I find the divine within you. I connect with God. And the holiness, I feel it, I sense it. The Kedusha is within, here, and all around. And, you know, when Shalom Hanoch wrote the song, and a good friend of mine gave me the book recently because I was desperate for the Shalom Hanoch book. I actually, I transcribed the song by ear on Sibelius, and then she gave me this book I've been looking for a long time. It's so precious to me, that book by Shalom Hanoch. You know, when Shalom Hanoch wrote this song, was he talking about that? Was he talking about Kedusha? You know, I don't know if that was his primary thought, but that's what I believe he's saying. And what I really want to say is, if we could all see the divine within each other and every person, imagine how, and Ramon was talking about this last night, or imagine how we could change the world, So here's the song. לפעמים הוא שואל, לפעמים מודה יותר לקבל מקל, אבל לרוב אדם בתוך עצמו נזכר, אדם בתוך עצמו גר, בתוך עצמו גר, ובאיזה עיר סוערת, ובאיזה כפר, לפעמים סופה עוברת, וביתו נשבר, אבל לרוב אדם גם לעצמו הוא זר, לאט לאט כמה טוב שבאת, ילדייך ריק הבית והלילה קר, אז אני שומר עליי כמה שאפשר, ואם כל זאת אמצא אותך מחר. אדם קרוב אצל עצמו, אדם בתוך עצמו גר. Thank you. You want to sing it one more time? It's so short.
Thank you so much, Janet. It's what a fantastic way of honoring the letter Aleph by having you and teaching us such deep and moving concepts, both the letter. It reminds me of the beginning of Vaikra with that small Aleph, the very first letter, first word of it. Um, Everybody's saying on the chat how lovely is what you have brought to us, and pouring your heart and your knowledge is something that I think pleases us all and help us continue addressing all the issues that happened with with um, with the pandemic, and also with all the other insane things that happen not only in the country but outside, whether it's global climate and whether is a social and economic injustice. And that's why we bring everything together, and you are certainly at the core of it, at the center of it, by teaching us that we as a human being are unique, and we should be embracing each other as you propose. So I want to say to everyone that that um, that we are going to let me see if I can put this in. Um, that tomorrow, somebody said it, it's going to be our letter bet. Somebody said that you can bet on it. That was very funny. And I'm honored that our next teacher is a very, very dear person to me, Daniel Cavavier, who's here, and comes from Miami, Florida, all the way from the South America, Argentina. And we are looking forward to all of you to come back. As we say tonight, Laila Tov to all of you. I hope you have a pleasant evening, and I hope we can see each other tomorrow night at 8 p.m. right, Eastern time. And thank you very much for all your support. Good night.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
It was really beautiful. Thank you so much. Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.